The G3 is back, and it's got upgrades. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking another look at the G3 and some upgrades that I think a lot of people consider when they buy one. I've picked out two that I think I like the best, and today we're going to see if they're worth it. First, if you haven't checked it out yet, I have a video overview of this G3 already on the channel. I will link that video in the description for you to check out. Now, I think one upgrade that most, if not all people who buy a G3 will end up putting on it is a weapon light. Maybe they purchased this because it's their do-it-all carry / home defense / range gun, or they just got one because they want something that they can tacticalize and make it look cool. Either way, this is going to need a weapon light. The one I've got here is a Streamlight TLR7A Flex. This is a 500 lumen compact weapon light, and it's notable because it comes with two different size switch options. It's got a high mount and a low mount. These are the high mount switches. You can see that they kind of sit up here. The low mounts sit pretty far down here. The light is held in place with a standard 1913 rail with a clamp-on style system, and it's also got an indexing plate in there. Streamlight includes a number of these plates so you can find the one that's the right size for the rail on your weapon. After you drop the right size plate in, the light slides onto your rail, and then there's a screw on the side here that tightens the whole thing up. The light is powered by a CR123A battery that Streamlight also throws in the package. The TLR7A Flex can be found in a lot of places for between $130 and $150. So the TLR7 is activated by pushing down or in on the switches on either side of the weapon, just like that. Push and hold for a momentary on. You can tap for a constant on. And there's also a strobe mode that's locked out from the factory. This can be activated by tapping quickly 9 times and then holding on the 10th tap. While you're holding, the strobe will activate, indicating that the mode is unlocked. And then when it's unlocked, to access it, it's just a quick double tap of the switch. Disabling or locking out the strobe can be done by following the same steps that you use to enable it. 9 quick taps, press and hold on the 10th tap. While you're holding, the strobe will change to a constant on, and that will indicate that the strobe is locked out. Now, the second upgrade that I put on this is the front sight. The G3 ships with a simple metal white dot front sight, and I wanted something that has a bit bigger dot and is a little bit easier to pick up. Taurus does make a factory upgraded front sight, but it was out of stock when I went to order one, and actually I think that they're still out of stock right now as I make this video, actually. Anyway, instead I took advantage of the fact that the G3 uses Glock sights, and I purchased this Ameriglo tritium front sight that has all the same features as the Taurus factory upgrade part, which is also actually branded Ameriglo, now that I think about it. It's worth it to note here that the sight I got is 0.165 inches in height, whereas the G3 uses a sight that is 0.160 inches tall. The extra 0.05 inches in height of this sight shouldn't make a huge difference in elevation shift at closer distances, but if there is a shift, it would become more apparent at further distances. So if you want something that's the exact correct height, I recommend looking for a 0.160 inch tall sight, like that factory Taurus one that I mentioned. Pricing for upgraded sights varies. The factory Taurus one is $30 from the Taurus store, and I got this one for $40 at Brownells. Installation of the Ameriglo front sight is very easy, and it can be done at home, provided that you have a Glock front sight tool. I would definitely recommend picking up the tool because the access to the screw that holds the sight in is kind of limited access in the G3 slide, and it would be pretty difficult to do with standard tools, as you can sometimes do with a Glock. Again, the installation itself is really simple. I can't do it for you because YouTube doesn't like that, but I'll kind of talk you through it. It's as simple as removing the recoil system and the barrel from the frame, and then you unscrew the factory sight from underneath. There is a hole in the slide here that allows access to the screw. I don't know if I can get it. Yeah, it's kind of right in there. So basically, you're just going to take your Glock sight tool, stick it in there, unscrew it. It's going to take some effort because Taurus puts a really good amount of thread locker on there, and good for them, right? So steady, even pressure is the name of the game here. You don't just like kind of crank it over. Steady, even, slow pressure, and that sight will come off. Once that front factory sight is out, the Ameriglo sight drops into place, and then you screw it in from the bottom after you dab some thread locker on there. As for the sight itself, it's really nice. It's got a nice big white circle that's easier to pick up than the factory Taurus sight. It's got a tritium vial in there, so it makes it a nice sight. And there we go. Yeah, you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like when you pick it up. Nice and easy to pick up. Nice big white dot. So what do I think overall? Are these upgrades worth it, especially considering the price of the G3 itself? For the Ameriglo front sight, I'm going to say yeah, it definitely is. The larger dot is easier to pick up, and it's got the added benefit of being a night sight. The upgrade is easy to do, and even considering the cost of a Glock front sight tool, it's worth it, especially if you get the factory Taurus part that's even less expensive than this one. For the TLR7, it's a little bit more complicated. The light is fantastic, don't get me wrong. There's a reason it's one of the most popular weapon lights out there. However, there's no ignoring the fact that it costs more than half of the price of the entire G3 itself. Some people would say that's the price you pay for a good weapon light. Others would find that that's simply out of their budget. For me, yes, it's worth it, especially if you're willing to do some creative digging online for deals. Amazon, eBay, the Gun Deals subreddit, all these are great resources to find a TLR7 for a good price. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on upgrades for the Taurus G3. If you're interested in any of the upgrades I've shown you, I will drop links to them in the description. I'll also leave a link for the Glock sight tool that I mentioned as well. Throw me a like if you appreciate what I'm doing, and let me know in the comments what you think I should cover in future videos. Speaking of future videos, if you like this video, I highly suggest you subscribe and ring that bell so you know when the new ones show up. That's all I've got for you this time, so until next time, stay safe.